Reunion. Hello, y'all. I was selling crack on a private jet up in the hell and back. But no confusion, this a reunion. Hello, y'all. Welcome back. Get murder here. He counting money. He said, "Can man, the hell with rap." I'm only here to shit on niggas and piss on bitches. Welcome, ass. I bought jewelry and bikes, nigga. Black Benzes and white Vigors. Now I'm out here and I'm looking for more chandeliers and light fixtures. Nah. I don't like niggas, what's wrong with me? I'm a hype nigga, but this 44 turn to Michael Jordan. I look and say, take flight.
Welcome back to It Is What It Is. This episode is sponsored by Underdog Fantasy. The app is an easy way to make some cash just by making picks on your favorite players. Underdog is available in more than 30 states, including California, Texas, and New York, just to name a few. Make sure to support the show by hitting the link in the bio and downloading the Underdog Fantasy app. They'll also match your first deposit up to $100, and you get a special pick when you sign up. I'm Treasure Wilson, a.k.a. Stat Baby, along with your hosts, Mase and Cam.
Murder, what up, man?
Killer was good, man.
Hey, shit.
Okay, Maurice, and then how you doing today before we get into the starting topic?
Oh, listen, every time I get on the show, I'm happy. Great introduction, great way to start the show. So I'm happy about that. This helped me, I did want to brag about this title tag.
That's championship shit?
Yeah.
What's that, the championship ring?
Yeah, this is from last year. I got another one coming for the other side.
See, you know why I fuck with you, Mo? Mo, you know why I fuck with you? Because you the real title town. That's the real title town right there. That's title town right there. I like that. That's the real title town, nigga. Got two of them joints down in a minute. Mace, I don't see no title. Niggas, Kansas City ain't saying nothing man. You title town or what?
Yeah.
What's happening, man?
Hey, look,
let's go, Mo.
I like that.
I ain't got this off of Temu, baby.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
You didn't get that off of eBay.
Yeah, I like that.
Nah.
I like that. I like that, man.
No, I'm doing great, though, Stat. Thanks for asking. And I was going to make a joke with Mace. Do you know what they was talking about, Oscar De La Hoya and Canelo? Because they were speaking Spanish, so I told everybody I was going to make sure I asked you, see if you knew.
Yeah, a little bit. If you play it for me, I can tell you, I'm definitely well versed. Pause.
Hey, Nick, make sure you cue it up before the show over, all right?
I knew you was going to do that, right? Oh, man.
So let's start with the Sixers and the Knicks. The Sixers have been eliminated from the playoffs as the Knicks beat them 118-115 in Philly. Are y'all ready to roll with the Knicks?
Oh, yeah. My jacket came in. It's crazy. Today, my jacket came in. They sent me a Kith New York jacket. Somebody must have found it. They must have knew the Knicks was going to win. What do you think about this? I thought they was buying all the tickets. That ain't work, huh? Cause my boy had 40. Cam said they don't win. I don't even want to.
I said they gonna win in 6. That was exactly what I said.
Cam said they don't win. When Brunson get 40 points, he had 41.
I said they didn't win one time when he had 40 points.
Okay.
I said they was gonna win. I said they was gonna win in 6. That was my exact words.
Yeah. I'm not gonna push the envelope. You feeling it today?
That's crazy. That's wild. You're feeling it today is wild. You're feeling it today is kind of crazy.
It's set.
Yeah, Mo. What did you think about the game, Mo? I'm glad everybody on Philly showed up. I didn't know where your boy Buddy Hield was all this time. He showed up. But, it wasn't enough. And Maxey went back to being the old Maxey. And B did what he normally does, and it wasn't enough, The Knicks is on a tear. He's definitely not Jeremy Lin now.
No, but I looked at it was like the 9-minute mark in the fourth quarter. And this was kind of like what I seen from Jalen Brunson, just the Knicks in general. And I don't know why this it always gives me confidence in who's ever playing. Jalen Brunson wasn't even surprised. Or none of the Knicks players, whether they, catching players cutting to the basket, making 3-pointers, and you in the midst of somebody else's field. And these dudes seem super relaxed. they had like that Kobe-esque look, like I'm supposed to be here. We supposed to be making these shots. We supposed to be closing the series out. And like at the 9-minute mark, and even though when it got to like 2 minutes and, the Sixers went on a little run, act like they was going to come back, man, these dudes weren't phased. And I just felt like, man, this stayed time. And, hats off to the Knicks. I started thinking about seeing and how happy the brothers in New York is. But Lord knows about the 9-minute mark, man, I looked at it and I was like, I don't think the Sixers are going to come back from this, or I don't think that they'll be able to, keep up with what the Knicks have going on. It just looked like the Knicks' time today.
We know Cam was high, right? Is this nigga Mase high? What the fuck is Mase smoking on? Cause he is bugging the fuck out on this show today.
So hold on. We know Cam was high, right? Is this nigga Mase high? What the fuck is Mase smoking on? Cause he is bugging the fuck out on this show today.
Every day, this is what I get from after these episodes. Mase doesn't even go online to see what they say about it. Every day is 25 of these. 25 or 30s. I'm going to send the clip so you can see whose ad it was. Every clip, they want to know if this nigga's high or bugging out. It seemed cool when we up here because we vibing, but he don't know that they talking about him behind his back. I be trying to explain to him, yo, murder. I'm your man. They talking about you behind your back. I just be trying to explain that to him because I love him. He think I'm trying to attack him. He be talking about he trying to do a double entendre on talking. Like I said, two things could be right at the same time and everything else. Look at murder. I love when he go on his phone. I love it. I love when he go on his phone. Look, this was
no. That just whoever that is sad that the elevator don't go all the way to the top floor.
That's what I got one of them about you too. I went to look through it. They say your elevator don't go to the top floor.
It's sad that whoever said that, it's sad that your elevator don't go to the top floor. Sometimes we're having conversations that education just don't go that high. And it saddens me that he thinks that way. But anybody with a good brain knows it's possible for two things to be right at the same time.
You don't have to have a great education to be smart. You gotta have all the degrees in the world and be dumb as fuck. I got GED. I'm thinking I'm smartest nigga in the room half the time, me personally. I don't care what degree niggas got, how many motherfucking bachelors. And I ain't disrespecting this room. I'm talking about other rooms that I'm in. I would never disrespect my brothers and sisters in this room. I'm just saying, half the time when I walk in the room, I don't care if it's all Harvard students, I believe I'm the smartest nigga in the room. So I don't know what education has to do with it. He's making an observation on what he says on television. It's sad that you think that you have to go through this white man system to have a high level of an opinion. Now I'll get to the Knicks real quick. I'll get to the Knicks real quick.
If what you're saying and you played on the phone is true,
I'm going to send it to Nick. We're going to play it.
I mean, that's good that he said that, but this is what I mean. Two things could be true at the same time because you just went crazy on Elliott Wilson for having an opinion.
Hey, Elliott.
Mm-hmm. For having an opinion. So if people could just chime in and say silly things, then that
wasn't an opinion. That was more of a statement.
Yeah.
That was an opinion. I can't get mad at your opinion. He made a statement.
Oh.
Do we need to remind these niggas that they sportscasters? That wasn't an opinion. I was like, yo, that was more of a statement. That's what I'm talking about with education. You have a degree, right?
Yeah.
So you should know that's a statement and not an opinion. I have a GED. I'm telling you that's not a, this is what I'm talking about when it comes to education, but we'll move on. I digress. Back to the Knicks. Look, man, to be honest with you, I picked the Knicks to win in 6. To be honest with you, I wanted the Knicks to lose tonight. I'm in the house watching the game, me and Larry said, who the fuck are you rooting for? Because I'm like, I wanted to see one more of these, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. I don't know the last time I seen a series that had me like on the edge of my seat the whole game, and it was just really, really great to watch this series, and I would be lying if I didn't say I want to see one more. But at the end of the day, I believe this series came down to the Knicks' defensive tenacity, them crashing the offensive boards, them taking advantage of Joel Embiid's injuries, and the last thing Tom Thibodeau out coaching Nick Nurse. You sit there game after game after game and watch Jalen Brunson score 40 again, like Mase said again last night. And you make no adjustments. Tyrese Maxey went for 47 last game, and he finished with 17 points tonight. He actually didn't score in the last 29 minutes of the game. He did not score. That's what you call making adjustments. We not letting this nigga do this again. Y'all out your motherfucking mind? No. We're not letting you do this. And that's why, to me, that was the real difference. Outside of the tenacity, outside of the offensive rebounds, Knicks had 20 offensive rebounds also. 20 offensive rebounds. So the Knicks are dogs. When it comes to Hart, when I'm talking about Josh Hart, when it comes to Hart, when it comes to OG, Mitchell to a certain extent, it seems like you got dogs. Like they got 3 Draymonds. These niggas just crashing the boards. They're closing out on defensive assignments. Them niggas is dogs. As bad as Josh Hart, scoring-wise, didn't have a good game last year, he stepped up and hit that game winner tonight with confidence. So I have to give Tom Thibodeau a lot of credit for making the defensive adjustments on Tyrese Maxey. I asked Mase on yesterday's episode, if I'm not mistaken, if the Knicks don't close this out and Tyrese Maxey ends up winning this and plays great the rest of the series, does he snatch away all the superstardom that Jalen Brunson was showing us in the last 3 months? And we kind of said it might be that way. And I don't know if Jalen Brunson heard it or not, but he said, no way, nigga. That's not what's going to happen. And he came to play. Jalen Brunson is such a crafty player to where he can control the tempo. And once he gets you on his hip pause, you're basically pause at his mercy, because you're on the side. He could take 2 step back, hit the mid-range, go for a layup. You double team. He hits the open man. He's really, really a great crafty player. And I'm really glad that he went to the Knicks. And the reason I say that, we don't get this Jalen Brunson if he stays in Dallas. We may not get this Jalen Brunson if Julius Randle gets hurt. Not saying he wouldn't have got his numbers, but you got to give Julius. If he doesn't
get hurt?
Right. No, I'm saying that because Julius Randle got to get his shots too. He was probably the first option before Jalen Brunson before he got hurt. So, that's what I'm saying about timing too. Sometimes it's just perfect timing for somebody. Because if you think about it, and New York fans will say no, the worst thing that could happen for me, if I'm Julius Randle, is if the Knicks get past the Pacers and that's bad enough. Not saying, I'm talking about Julius Randle. And don't let it be some wild shit that they happen to beat Boston and make it, because now we need all the assets that we could get to go around Jalen Brunson, and we're giving you up for those assets. Because we see we can make it without you. We haven't been making it with you. It's been the same coach. Jalen Brunson's been there for a while. They haven't got there with this combination. And it seems like Jalen Brunson is the one, and Julius Randle, I don't know if he would want to defer to being the second option. But shit, right now, it ain't no choice. So congratulations to the New York Knicks. I don't want to get that hype right now because I seen them go to the second round the year before last. And they stunk it up. Seems like a different energy, though. This definitely seems like a little bit of a different energy, and I'm looking forward to see what happens in the next round, because the Pacers ain't no slumps neither. The Pacers led the league in scoring this year. They run, they're fast, they're young, they're good. This should be a great matchup. I'm picking the Knicks to win, but it ain't going to be no cakewalk.
I do just have to add, Tobias Harris, you played 29 minutes and made 0 points. That is absolutely unacceptable. You could have been that 3-point difference maker for your team to win, and you folded. That just cannot happen in these games. It's actually really sad, especially because he's getting paid $37 million for what? To run back and forth for what? That's crazy.
And the add-on to what you said, and that shit irks me when niggas be 6'8", 6'9", and you can't get a layup this game. Like, yeah. He only
4 free throws.
Yeah, he took 2 shots, bro. You can't disappear like that. And that's what I was saying a few episodes ago about whoever is the GM in Philly. How do you keep Tobias Harris and let Jimmy Butler get away? I don't understand that. I have no idea how that works. But you're suffering now for it. And no disrespect if this is my nigga, because he's my nigga too. Elton. What's our nigga name?
Elton Brand.
Yeah, Elton Brand. That's my guy, man. Shout out to Elton. But you can't make that mistake, bro. You can't make that mistake.
And then Mase brought up the tickets, but I want to get you guys' opinion on it. So the Sixers owners bought 2,000 tickets to get more Philly fans in the stands for the game. They handed them out to first responders, healthcare professionals, community groups, and other local organizations. So what do you guys think of those efforts just in general, buying tickets for people to actually come to the game?
I think, go ahead, Mo.
Oh no, just I think it was a good effort to try to minimize all the New York fans that was there. I think it was the last game that when I watched it, I was like, man, this feels like a New York game when it was actually in Philly. And I think that everybody's seen it on TV, and I think that he was trying to minimize that. Like, so let me do a good deed to, do something good for the community, for first responders and people who probably can't, afford playoff tickets, but also let me minimize just this New York energy. It was a New York energy in Philadelphia, and I don't think that probably either sportscasters, the news media, the local people there, I don't think that they appreciated that, and they know that energy that the crowd gives helps. So, nice try, but the guys still got to execute on the court.
Yeah, I think this says everything about Philadelphia from the aspect of that he had to buy those tickets. I don't know why is it such a important series that the people in Philadelphia dropped the ball and didn't go out and get the tickets. Like, if you have to sit aside 2,000 tickets, that's a lot of tickets to just give away, especially at the type of series that this is. This is New York versus Philadelphia. And I think the fear was there that New York was going to buy up all the tickets and drive out there and make that arena feel like it's New York. And, it seemed like that, and they played like it. So this got me really concerned about the process. Is the process over at this point? Like, I don't even know how to look at that process. Everything I said, they didn't follow. They brought Joel Embiid back. It broke up the chemistry. He became the guy that was dominant on the ball. And a lot of the other guys just faded away, and they tried to come back, but it messed the chemistry up. And they're going home because of it.
As far as buying the tickets, look, it was sad. Secondly, when you do shit like that, just because a nigga work in a fire station or he's a first responder, that don't mean he a Sixers fan. Might have been New York fans in disguise. You might have been giving the tickets to some New York niggas that just moved out there, or they just don't even be into sports. You got to pick and choose who you giving these tickets to when you try and cheat like that. Cheating for home court advantage as well. As much as I don't like James Dolan as the owner, I'm not saying I don't like him. People don't like him. He would never
get them tickets away.
He would never buy my own tickets, miss out on more money. Why would I do that? James Dolan would never. And as much as Philly is a big sports town, this goes to show how big a sports town is it if the owner has to buy the tickets. Philly fans are really rough on their players, similar to New York. But this did show a lot that last game, not last night's game, the game before last when they were in Philly and when New York invaded, it just goes to show that New Yorkers are serious about winning when it comes to basketball. We haven't won in such a long time. You don't get that when when the Giants play the Eagles. Mm-hmm. You don't hear the stadium talking about, you don't hear no cheers for the Giants or Jets or anything when you go see the Philadelphia Eagles play. But when it comes to basketball, we're so hungry, and thirsty, because we haven't seen a championship in the last over 50 years that niggas is riding out. So I thought it was I thought if you was going to do that, talking to the owner, you should have kept it on the low. You shouldn't even told nobody you was going to do that. Secondly, it probably made a 25% difference from the game before last. You still heard New York niggas in there. They wasn't as loud as they was in game 4, but they was still in there. They was definitely in there, but I would have kept that to myself. I wouldn't even told nobody if I did that.
Okay, and then the Pacers eliminated the Bucks from the playoffs after beating the Bucks 120-98. What went wrong for the Bucks?
Well, I think injuries. Injuries contribute, but when I seen the loss, and I didn't catch the game because I was actually at a speaking engagement, but I caught the highlights. And just like I seen New York, but I seen a New York game, and I seen how explosive and fast and energetic and possessed that they look. When I looked at the Pacers highlights, just the highlights that I seen, it sort of looked like the same thing. And I think Cam just said it, that they're a very fast-paced team. And, if you're putting up 120 points, obviously you're getting up and down the court, making a ton of buckets. But the other thing that I thought about was that, is there anybody in this process who thought about Doc Rivers? And you had a good thing with the guy that they fired like mid-season. I don't know if it was right after the play-in series or right before, or the All-Star break, something like that. But I asked myself, like, does anybody think, like, when you have a winning coach and he's going down the right track, and then you replace him for somebody else? And I know you had injuries, but you get like a totally different result, or the result that you didn't want. I wonder how much does, the general manager or the owner say, man, like, did we contribute to this early exit? Because just like everybody else, I wanted to see Dame go ahead and, Dame go out there, get a playoff run, and then eventually, hopefully he get a championship. So I don't know. That was my take on it.
Yeah, I looked at this series once they didn't have Giannis and Dame. Like, they weren't gonna win it. Unless they got a miracle for some of the other guys. Now, Chris Middleton, he went ahead and won, I think, one game for them. And after that, it was just a wrap. And because I don't think of Doc Rivers as a coach that can win unless he have supreme talent on the floor. At least he need at least 3 superstars. And I know all coaches doesn't need that, but that's what it seemed like he needs. When it came down to what's the guy named Obi Toppins, he had 21 career high. The other guy, TJ, had a career high. And when you got 2 players getting a career high at the same time, it was just going to be their night, And shout out to Indiana. It's their first playoff series win in a decade. It's been a long time since they won. I think the last time they won, they had Lance Stevens and Paul George, the GOAT, and I forgot the big, tall, black guy name. But shout out to them.
Hubert.
Yeah, Hibbert.
This ain't really about no stats for me. Niggas is hurt. Damian Lillard's Achilles fucked up. Giannis' calf, or quote unquote calf, is fucked up. I believe it's more than just a calf, because if it was a calf, I think he would have played. I think it's closer to Achilles than a calf injury. Doc Rivers jumped in the scene. That coach, like you said, Mo, had a winning record before they fired that nigga. And y'all bringing in Doc Rivers for the name. I have no idea to this day. Maybe we should call Stephen A. Smith and have him call the league office to see what the fuck happened, why they fired the motherfucking coach before Doc Rivers came in, because that made no sense. It made no sense that Doc Rivers coached the All-Star game. What was that about? I like to call the league office to see what the fuck that was even about. I have no idea what that was about, but it all comes back to haunt you later on. And the biggest thing, like you said, Mo, was injuries, man. But what I was telling my nigga Larry, too, is that it isn't just the injuries. It seems like Indiana has had Milwaukee's number all year. Before the playoffs, they was 3-4 against Milwaukee anyway. And not only 3-4, the one game that they did win against Milwaukee, Giannis has 64 points. So it took 64 points from Giannis to beat Indiana the one time that they did beat them this season, in the regular season. But got a brand new coach implementing his system. You're trying to have some respect for him because he's a championship coach with 1 championship. Damian Lillard, Mase alluded to it early in the season, going through a lot of personal things, plus injury on top of it. He didn't really look too happy the whole time being there. I seen him numerous times trying to hold his laughing when Giannis' brother was on the floor doing what the fuck Giannis' brother be doing. I seen him put his head down on several occasions like, yo, is this what we doing for real? And then the key factor is you got a top 5 player in the world not playing. So Indiana did what they're supposed to do and win. And we'll see what the series is next. What happens next with them and the Knicks. I think that'll be an interesting series as well.
How far back, pause, do you think this pushed them if both of them have potentially Achilles issue? That run into next year, right?
Yeah. I mean, they saying Dame aggravated his Achilles. I don't know what that actually means. I mean, of course I know what aggravated means, but you fuck your Achilles up or you don't. What I learned from my good buddy Shamgar, because I had a couple years ago, I had a question for him about Achilles. And another Sin argument. Sin is telling me that if you break your leg, it takes longer to heal than tearing your Achilles. And I'm telling him it doesn't. So we called Sham, and Sham explained to me a couple years ago that they had some players on the Dallas Mavericks. One of them had an Achilles injury, and one of them had a broken leg. The guy with the broken leg came back, healed quicker, he's playing. When you have an Achilles injury, from what I learned, you have to rehab for the rest of your career. It's never no rehab stop. Rehabbing when you have an Achilles injury. So even if you get surgery, you get it fixed, you're feeling good, you still have to rehab for the rest of your career. It's never stop rehabbing. And I have no idea. The only thing I could guess of with an aggravated Achilles is maybe he's rehabbing too much or you didn't rehab enough. And this is all speculation. I have no knowledge on it, but I don't know how you aggravate your Achilles. Not sure.
Okay. And then looking ahead, I mean, we briefly spoke about it, but who do you guys think will win in the second round? The Knicks or the Pacers? Got to get you guys' prediction before the game comes up just to see where you guys' head is at.
I'm going for the Knicks. And I really want to see, I don't know if it's historical, but I just want to see the Knicks at least get a shot at winning the championship. So I'm going for the Knicks.
Yeah, I agree with Mo. I want to see the Knicks play Boston. Even though many people don't think they can beat them, I definitely want to see the Knicks win.
I want the Knicks to win, but I don't know if this is any cakewalk. You're not just going to go walk through Indiana. And if they do, they do. But Indiana, like I said, this will be a very interesting matchup because Indiana led the league in points and Tom Thibodeau's a defensive-minded coach. So will he make the adjustments to slow them niggas down and figure out a way to not have them score 130 points every game. So this will be real tactical. I think after the first game, we'll get an idea of what's going on. But if you ask me who I want to win, the Knicks. If you ask me who I think's going to win, I'm going to say the Knicks, but it's definitely not no motherfucking cakewalk. I think it might be a little tougher than what they did with Philly because they're not injured like Philly was. And to Mace's point, the thing with Philly also, when you're Nick Nurse and you're Joel Embiid and you're Tyrese Maxey, you have to have a meeting. You have to say, look, big bro, you hurt. Let me put this team on my back. Not saying you can't be the man that you are, and I know you 7-1 and basically you're our leader, but right now, you're not 100% and I'm in a rhythm. You're going to be the second option and I'm going to be the first option. And that's the way it should have been played out. Because as much as Joel Embiid wanted to do what he wanted to do, he couldn't do it now. To the credit of Joel Embiid, that speaks to his greatness. He has Bell palsy, a surgical knee, and he still had 35 points tonight. He had another 50-point game in this series, but it's not equaling out to the wins to win the series. So as a coach and as a player and as a second option player, that meeting needs to happen to say, let me put this on my back and let me take us to the next round. And Joel Embiid was still the first option when I don't think he should have been.
Okay, we're going to go to break, and when we return, we will discuss Justin Fields. Don't go anywhere.
She called this thing about toxic. 4 years and counting. Got you feeling like an option. Maybe I'm my own problem, babe. She tired of hearing I don't know. My stubborn in me won't fall. Dealing with this thing called trust. But she really thinking about it. She wanna be free. Why am I in this woman way?
Welcome back. Now let's get into our underdog fantasy picks of the day. Tonight, the Clippers will play the Mavs. Underdog fantasy has Luka at 53.5 points, rebounds, and assists. The turn was crazy. Do you have him higher or lower? Yeah, we haven't heard those numbers at all.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Higher or lower, Mase?
Points, rebounds, and assists. I'm going lower now. I think they're getting crazy now.
Okay.
Lower.
Hey, Josh Green is at 3.5 points. Do you have him higher or lower, Cam?
Higher.
Higher.
Okay. And James Harden is at 8 assists. Do you have him higher or lower, Mase?
Lower.
I'm going to go higher.
Okay. Download the Underdog Fantasy app and you can make your picks too. We are joined back with our analyst, Maurice Clarett. So with Russell Wilson as the starting quarterback for the Steelers, a player revealed that the special teams coordinator suggested that Justin Fields could return kickoffs with the rule change preventing players from moving until the returner touches the ball. What do you think of that idea, Maurice, first?
Oh, it's the dumbest shit I heard all offseason. Yeah, they used to say when I was in the joint, yeah, it really is. But they would say in the joint, somebody would call you a bitch and you would get mad, but somebody would treat you like a bitch and you won't say anything. So, never let an individual treat you like a bitch. And when I sat there and sing, yeah, that's what they used to say, let somebody carry you like a bitch. And what happened was there's no upside to this. I was serious when I was cursing, but I'm also serious now. Everything is risk management when you get to the level that these guys are at. He's a first-round pick. He's a quarterback. He had a shitty situation in Chicago. But, what is really going to happen? He gets back there. He returns a punt. Even if he becomes Devin Hester, he detracts and distracts from who he is as a quarterback. You want to get paid as a quarterback. You want to get paid $30, $40, $50 million. Russell Wilson is on the backside of his career. Who's to say that Russell Wilson is even healthy? I know Mike Tomlin plans on giving Russell Wilson a shot. He's the veteran. He's the older guy. He's been to a Super Bowl, so on and so forth. But I would be learning from, what's his name, Russell Wilson. I'll be learning the offense, and I'll be preparing myself to go in if Russell Wilson goes down and gets an injury and whatever it is. But I wouldn't even let them play with me like that, pause. I wouldn't even let them put me back there and laugh, joke, none of that stuff, because that's what people do. They'll play with you just to see your reaction with something, pause. And if he's like, warming up to it all, I can catch this and, I can get that out there on the field. They'll put him in a box just like they did Antoine Randall and Hines Ward. And I'm not downing those guys. Those guys had great careers. But the money that people are paying quarterbacks now and the career that you can have and play till 40 and 45, I wouldn't want a nigga put me back there to return kicks if that's not, what I would want to do. So that's my take on it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't see how this helps, even with the new rule changes about having two players in the end zone. It still don't make no sense to me. I mean, does that make any sense to you that they're now adding a player in the end zone?
No, I mean, just think about this, bro. You go from first round quarterback and starting for 3 years, 3 years, however long he was out there in Chicago. And then you got me back here. Man, you can go get an athletic receiver to do this shit. You know what I'm saying? You don't see guys breaking 100-yard runs and fucking running down the field all crazy like they used to do. But like I said, even if he did do that, even if he goes out there and he returns 2 or 3 kicks, there's no added value moving forward to the position that he really wants to play. Nobody's about to go out here and say, man, let me sign my star quarterback to a $40 million deal and let me have him return kicks. You can only diminish your value. You can go out there and get hurt. Saying like it's just risk management. But even for them to even for Mike Tomlin to play with him like that, I don't know. I just take everything serious. I don't take what people do and take it lightly, because I just understand at that level everything is serious. So you had to say something like that in a meeting to get a reaction from somebody, to then walk on the field and then to do that. And if you think you got it off, it's like, what is y'all really trying to say? So I don't know. Maybe I'm too serious, or maybe maybe it's too deep. I don't know, pause, but that's how I see it.
All this says to me, this ain't even really that hard pause for me. All that shit is saying is that Justin Fields is not playing quarterback. And if you're, and it's not hard to tell if you're a football fan, once the quarterback is in bearing injury or bearing playing disgustingly terrible, you usually play the same quarterback for the whole season. So you have a great quarterback, no matter how good you are, if your team's playing decent and yelling the rhythm and you're not stinking it up, you're going to play your quarterback the whole season. And what they're trying to do is find ways to get Justin Fields on the field. Like, hey, man, you know you can run it back. We heard about you in high school, nigga. Heard you was one of them niggas, nigga. Heard you used to kick that. I heard you. And like you said, Mo, you looking at niggas like, what? So you're basically, y'all are telling me in April, pardon me, it's May. Y'all are telling me in May, I'm just not going to be playing quarterbacks. So we're going to start figuring other ways for you to get on the field. That's what this is basically telling me. When niggas tried to get Tim Tebow to play linebacker in the preseason till the nigga knocked Tim Paws on his ass and nigga said, nah, I'm good. I'll go back to broadcasting. When I seen Tim Tebow lined up at the scrimmage yard as a linebacker, I said, what the fuck is going on? And to me, this is just a way of Mike Tomlinson and his staff saying, that nigga ain't going to be playing. He's not our starting quarterback. Now, of course, when it gets to training camp, you're going to have competitive shit to see, okay, cool, who's starting and who's starting. But with this type of announcement, they already announced the starter, if you ask me. It's going to be Russell Wilson, and we're going to figure out ways to try and get Justin Fields on the field if Russell Wilson doesn't stink it up. Because now, this is them. Oh, we got a punt returner that can play quarterback. Nah, nigga. You got nigga, you got a quarterback that's playing punt returner. Don't try to finesse us, nigga. Yeah. We see what's going on. You just trying to figure a way out to get that nigga some playing time, because if Russell Wilson play good, and ain't gonna be no light for him. That's just the way it go, man, when it comes to quarterbacks.
And Mo, you correct us you correct me if I'm getting this wrong. He's supposed to get a quarterback booklet, but instead he's meeting with this the special teams coordinator. Is that correct?
Well, I don't know how it actually happened. You know, maybe like Stat can pull up the art. Go ahead, Stat.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like that was like information that we were not supposed to know because Jaylen Warren shared it on a podcast. And I forgot exactly how the conversation went, but he said like, oh yeah, the special teams coordinator was actually, thinking of putting Justin Fields at the position. And I just feel like that shouldn't even have been shared to begin with, but I want to let you finish your thought now, knowing that information.
Yeah, so he got the wrong booklet. He came in as a quarterback and got a special team package.
Wow.
But like this, you ain't even, it's like stuff like the practice is so structured, it's so delicate, and the depth chart is so outlined, and the reps that you're going to get on the field at practice, like you just don't walk out on the field and just freestyle as a coach. That's what I'm talking about. Like you run this by somebody and somebody is saying like, I don't care. Just let me see what it looks like. Pause. You know what I'm saying? That's where I will get mad, because you know how intentional everything is at that level. And when you know that like just can't nothing go on without it being approved by somebody, it makes it go back and say, man, you've kind of like what Cam just said. You've told me without telling me I'm not playing quarterback right now, but I didn't come here to be a special teams player nor get put into that box. You can go to all these dudes' pocket. Like when you go to, go listen to LaShawn McCoy, go listen to D-Jack on a podcast, and you start to hear these stories about people manipulating players or just doing a little sneaky shit, but you don't see it at the time. This is the start of something where you be like, damn, how the fuck did I end up way over here? Yeah, because the motherfucker directed you over there. You know what I'm saying? But you just didn't see it at the time. But this is one of those things. Oh, let's just see him as special teams. And, if he warms up out there, maybe it's another guy we can get inside of the draft. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Yeah, man. I said what I said. This is all finesse. This is all finesse.
I can teach finesse.
I can teach finesse.
The fucked up shit is that I would love to have seen Justin Fields' reaction when he walked into the quarterback room and they said, no. They want you down in special teams for a minute. He want to holler at you about something.
Yeah. I don't know, stuff like this, I just think it needs to be a lot more tight-lipped because Justin Fields might not have even known this information himself. That could have just been a side conversation. And just as a quarterback, you're getting into your footing, like all that outside noise. I just hate when that kind of gets told to other players. So I'm hoping the best for him because I just want the best situation for the Steelers regardless. But we will see what happens because if he is doing that, that'll be crazy. But I doubt it. Okay, so looking ahead to the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight again. Tyson is listed as the underdog while Jake Paul is the favorite. Jake Paul said he warned Tyson about fighting him in a sanctioned pro fight and said, "This is war now." Said a couple other things in that interview, but who is your favorite as of right now? Then what do you guys feel about Jake Paul sending Mike Tyson that message? Maurice first.
Well, yeah, obviously Mike Tyson is my favorite. And where I thought that this was a joke, or not a joke, but I thought it was like on the level of like him and Roy Jones, where they respectfully threw punches at each other and, didn't turn it up another notch. I actually think like Mike Tyson and Jake Paul are taking this serious. And I just don't think it's a publicity stunt to call it a real fight. I think like they both have something to prove independently. I think Jake Paul is like, all right, just as this white, scrawny guy who started out on YouTube and came up and became this star for, knocking, Nate Robinson out, or, that's not a shot at him, but, just knocking these other guys out. I got a chance to knock down a black hero. I think that might be somewhere in the back of his head. I can knock down like the nigga's nigga. You know what I'm saying? And I think Mike Tyson, like, I'm about to whoop this little white boy's ass. He out here like operating in my space and operating his boxing space. He really don't know what the fuck this is like. And so I think like them actually making it a real fight. I really believe that they both are like, it started out joking, but I think like, as this thing progressed, I think it's a lot more serious than I think that some people may believe.
Yeah, I think this is really crazy. This is just after his 10th fight that he's now fighting Mike Tyson. Some people say, "Oh, it's an old Mike Tyson." I think at any point, if Mike connects clean, it's going to be a different fight. Sure, he could tire Mike out and probably win that way. But if he knocked Mike out, that's also going to be a lot of credit to his name and he's going to get credit for that. People are not going to overlook it and say it's an old Mike Tyson. He's going to definitely get credit for that. So this is really interesting. At first, I thought it was a joke, but now it seems like they're taking it serious, so we got to take it serious.
Oh, yeah, look, they got to talk shit to promote the fight. If you go on Mike Tyson's page, he talks shit about Jake Paul while he's training. Every day he talk about day 2, Jake, I'm coming for you. Day 1, I'm about to have some fun. Day 3, I know you don't want a piece of me. Pause. Day 4, you in store for more. This is all on Mike Tyson's page of when he's training, like on some Candyman shit every day when he's in the gym. So you got to talk shit to promote the fight. As much as niggas say whatever about Ryan or whatever, it was a great tactic what he did, whether he's really crazy or not, the way he promoted the fight. And a lot of times you have people that can be great boxers that's not great promoters at fighting. Floyd's a great promoter when he boxes because he knows what it needs to be done. Conor McGregor, even though he's not a boxer, UFC, he knows how to promote a fight. Mm-hmm. Even though this guy lost a couple fights, and I would say if this nigga boxing skills would match his promotion, he'd probably be all world as Adrian Broner. Now that's a nigga who know how to talk to promote a fight. So these things have to be said for people to buy tickets, to make people think you don't like each other, to sell seats. So I don't take much of what Jake Paul said as serious or not serious. It's about we want to get entertained. I don't want to see somebody come into a boxing match and be like, I love this nigga. I don't mind niggas hugging after the fight and everything else, but leading up to it, I want to see niggas who don't necessarily like each other. I don't really even like when boxers fight each other and give them each other a 5 in between rounds. I don't even be liking that too much. Like when the round's over, when they walking back to their corner, they give the other gloves. I don't like that. I'm not into all that. And if you look at the rules, look, it's 8 rounds and each round is 2 minutes. So to me, that may work in Mike Tyson's favor as far as his stamina, but it's going to work to Jake Paul's favor with 14-ounce gloves. You know, you're fighting with pillows on your hands, so to speak. So it'll be an interesting fight. We'll see how it goes. But I think Jake Paul is definitely taking this serious. And I think Mike Tyson is also taking it serious because he don't want that on his reputation.
Let me
Okay.
ask you this. No, I was about to ask because he missed the part.
Yep.
What does this do for Jake Paul? Jake Paul, hypothetically speaking, knocks out Mike Tyson. Do people take you serious after that?
Well, for me personally, I would say that he hasn't fought a boxer yet. He's fought basketball players. He's fought UFC niggas. And he's fighting a 55-year-old retired boxer. When you get in there with a real boxer that's credible, that's ranked, that has a championship, that's number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in the WBA, WBC, all them different titles, then I can take him seriously. Until then, I can't take him serious as a boxer. I'm not mad at him because he's a marketing genius. This is another nigga that knows how to market and get to the bag. You can't get mad at a nigga that know how to market and get to the bag and stay safe at the same time. So me personally, no, I'm not taking him serious. You're knocked out. And the only reason they get me mad because you keep knocking black niggas out, just not boxers. You know what I'm saying? That's what's pissing me off. You keep knocking, nigga beat up Nate Robinson. Nigga Snoop said, "Oh Lord."
Can't play boxing.
Yeah. You quote unquote beat Silva. Spanish dude you beat too. I just think that for me, Cameron, to take him serious as a boxer, you need to fight a current boxer that is boxing. But at the same time, giving Jake Paul credit, if I can make 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 million dollars a fight or whatever he's making without risking it, why risk it?
You think Mike is no risk killer?
No, I'm not. Mike's a risk anytime you're in a room with Mike.
Mike
No,
bite his paws his ear.
no, Mike is a risk. But what I'm saying is this, what I ask you is this, Murder. I ask you this. Would you rather him, what's more of a risk? Seriously, and just asking your opinion. It's just opinion orientated.
Yeah.
What's more of a risk? Mike Tyson or Terrence Crawford? Just asking. There's no right or wrong answer.
Terrence Crawford is more of a
What's
risk.
more of a risk? Mike Tyson?
Yeah, by far.
What was more of a risk? Mike Tyson or Canelo?
Canelo.
That's my point. That's what I'm talking about. When I'm
Mike
saying
could
the
bite
risk.
the nigga nose off,
Yeah,
you know? Mike could go left.
When I say not a risk, I'm talking about a nigga your age.
Oh, yeah.
Talking about a nigga that's really boxing.
Benavidez, your weight class.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Mike's a wild card boxing or not.
Yeah.
It's definitely a risk. I called Mase from the airport and said, "I'm scared. I don't know if you've been watching the show." So let me rephrase that. It's definitely a risk anytime
Definitely
you're
a
right.
risk
Yeah,
with
but
Mike.
I'm talking
That's
about.
what I was speaking
Yeah,
to.
no, I'm speaking more to the fact of his boxing career. That's all I was speaking to.
Okay. And then NBC is preparing to offer $2.5 billion for NBA rights to challenge TNT. This is double of what Warner Bros. Is currently paying. In addition, Amazon has prepared a bid for future NBA rights. So what do you guys think about the bids? And then do you see NBC being victorious? Maurice first.
Oh, I see it by far. When you can offer double of what somebody is making, you strategically said to yourself, "Hey, this is how much money we'll get in ad revenue." And then obviously, when you offer $2.5 billion or double, you probably could have offered more. And when you're making that type of investment, you already understand ROI on this investment, return on investment. And I think that they're seeing the same thing that we are seeing. You see young stars. You see this is the post LeBron, post Curry, post KD era. You have this new crop of talent. Everything is digital. When you're talking about people like, I talked about this like early in the season with ESPN making all of their content or trying to get all their content by 2025 driven through the app, and a lot of that stuff being driven by the deal that they've tried to pursue with the NFL. This is NBC's way of saying, "Hey, man, our football's locked up because ESPN has gotten that, and they're probably going to buy NFL films. So we need to go ahead and get one of these leagues that generate a shit ton of money, and we need to make an offer that you can't refuse." But the biggest part that I love about this is that the same sort of deal structure that's happening in the NFL it's also happening at the collegiate level, and I don't want to leave that out of the conversation. So there was a new ruling that came up that the NCAA will potentially have to start doing profit sharing. And I can see on all websites they tuck this case in the back of everybody's headlines. This is stuff that's not even talked about, but this stuff actually just took place, and they may have to redistribute $2.5 billion themselves to former players in former schools over the past 10 years. And moving forward, the same shit that I've been talking about all season, the same stuff that Harbaugh was talking about all season, and you're going to have like 22% of the revenue, and it's not enacted yet, but they say they're going to have a decision within this month or go to trial in January. But they'll have to share 22% of their revenue with current college kids because the NCAA violated their antitrust laws. So I'm just happy niggas get money. Wish I would have got it when I got it, but all these little young niggas come from similar places like everybody probably doing this show. So to see these young dudes be able to, get this money and share in the upside of all the fucking work that they're doing, I'm happy for that. And I don't know, but to answer your question, Stat, I think NBC is going to reign victorious because when you start taking all these sport things offline and these things generate so much money, I think they're going to be willing to offer as much money as needed to make the deal happen.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on this. And I think because there's been so long since NBC has carried an NBA game and allowing CBS Sports and all of them to take over in some of those capacities when it comes to sports and basketball and things of that nature, I think they're really eager to get back in that space. Pause. And another thing that I was thinking about, they're not the only people making an offer. Amazon is also trying to get their bid in to make sure that they could bring it back. It seemed like Amazon is getting a lot of money to be able to counter that offer.
No, so actually, you bring up a good point. And really, Amazon is the driver because Amazon has more money than all these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Amazon, if Apple and Amazon actually just said, man, we want to step on the block and bully all you niggas if we want to get in that space, they can actually just bully everybody. So Amazon saying that they want a part of the market share. Like if you go back and look at what Amazon did, I think it was Amazon, and I might be wrong on this, but I think I'm right. I think Amazon was the people to offer Tom Brady a long deal or offer him something which got him thinking about getting to the media space. They took Herb Street from ESPN. They start having him announce NFL games. So what they're doing is strategically getting talent and saying, hey, man, let us get this notable talent. Let's bring them on our platform and let's warm them up to doing games so we can start bringing eyeballs over here. But you talking about motherfuckers who can tie in subscription services. It's Amazon trucks in every city, and they can offer money and take losses on money a lot longer than these other people. And so Amazon is really the driver. And I know I was trying to make the point about the NCAA because I love it so much and I was affected by the shit, but Amazon actually is the driver because they got the most money and they basically dictating like, hey, if you all want to keep like these A-class games, y'all keep that shit. We'll take these bullshit games. We'll get into the market. We'll acquire talent. And then, a few years later, we'll just offer, double what the fuck NBC's offering if it makes sense for us, if we can monetize it.
You're 100% right, Mo. And what it is that everybody, older people that's still NBA fans aren't 100% with streaming just yet or know how to use it or saying, how do I get a Prime account or this, that, and the third. So absolutely correct because the NBA would love to stay on linear television, meaning cable or, regular TV. So the NBA is trying to figure out how to do it. And you made a great point. They'll say, look, give us the bullshit games for now to start. Basically manipulating the crowd towards streaming. But yeah, you're right. They did the same thing with football. You got to think about this. Last year in the NBA season, when Kyrie Irving made that tweet about the guy's book or whatever it was and the slander that he got about Jewish people.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying he's correct or wrong. I have no opinion on that. I don't got time for that. I'm just retracting the story that happened last year. When all Kyrie Irving did, and I'm not agreeing or disagreeing with him, he retweeted a book that wasn't, or a movie or whatever it was, but that wasn't necessarily accepted by Jewish people and caught a bunch of backlash with it, suspended, Team put him on punishment. The NBA fined him, had to have meetings with him to make sure he wasn't racist. All this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But the NBA didn't say nothing to Amazon because they knew it would be potentially business that goes on with them in the future. And the NBA, and what Kyrie Irving tweeted, you would go watch that on Amazon. So as much backlash as Kyrie Irving got about it, they just say, well, leave Amazon out of it. Even though Kyrie Irving was directing traffic to Amazon to watch whatever, they had no problem with Amazon. No, this ain't Amazon. This Kyrie on some black shit. He acting crazy. So if Kyrie's a culprit, Amazon should be a culprit too. And like I said, I'm not saying Kyrie was right or wrong. I'm not in that. I have no opinion on it whatsoever. But I'm just saying, if you're going to hold Kyrie accountable, hold accountable the people that's actually selling the shit that you mad about. But it's bigger business going on. And I peeped that last year. So Amazon's about to step in a few years and swipe everything up. So whether it's NBC, Disney, ABC, ESPN, they got a few years left, my personal opinion, until linear is out for basketball and it's going to be streaming. That's what everything though. I don't know how long it's going to be, but it's going to be eventually.
I have a follow-up question that I think is pretty interesting because I think we've seen a lot of the sports broadcasting space change a lot. So with this, inside the NBA is dependent on TNT retaining its NBA rights. So obviously that's Shaq, Kenny Smith, Charles Barkley. So like if TNT loses its NBA contract, Charles Barkley said, I just signed a 10-year deal 2 years ago. But one of the things I did was put an opt-out in a couple of years because I wanted to cover my ass when it comes to this situation, knowing that it would be ending soon. But then Ernie Johnson would remain at Turner either way. So what do you guys think of that situation if inside the NBA were to break up? And then what's next for that?
Well, I've seen Charles Barkley when that happened, what you're talking about. Actually seeing him talking about that. And let me correct that. I read about what he said. And he was like, he don't want to be working when he's 70-something years old. So he don't want to sit there and sign a new contract with Amazon. He was like, Turner is his home, TNT is his home. So from what Charles Barkley was saying when this initially was brought to him a couple of years ago, is that he went and do a deal outside of TNT and outside of Turner. That was 2 years ago. If niggas come to the nigga like, yo, my nigga. Now, if Amazon come to the nigga like Ted DiBiase, like everybody got a number, nigga. Fuck is you talking about? 100 million a year, nigga. Niggas gonna jump. But initially, I know his allegiance and loyalty is to TNT and the NBC. And that's what you're supposed to say at the time. Everybody says that at the time. Until a better deal comes along and you be like, but you gotta understand, you gotta hear me out on this. They came with some pause, with some wild numbers. So I'd like that because it's a lot of times, like, for instance, right? And I know LeBron's a master manipulator. Shout out to Rich Paul. I spoke to Rich Paul today too. That nigga's Rich Paul. He should really just be a comedian. That nigga's a funny nigga. He does stand up, but he should do stand up, I'm saying. But back to LeBron. You see how LeBron left niggas hanging pause at the end of the season? I don't know if my last game gonna be a Laker. I can't tell you. He know what he gonna do, but he leaves the public hanging pause thinking like, oh, you heard what Bron said? Heard what this said? We on the way here now, driving here. Larry talking about, they talking about he could go to Dallas because his son might want to go to Dallas. This is, and I'm not saying Larry, this is the shit that we're reading, that he creates room for speculation if you don't nip it in the bud. Like same thing with Dion. Nigga asked Dion, you gonna leave Colorado and go here? Dion, even if Dion don't do that, stay at Colorado. He said, I'm not going nowhere. I'm here. You're not gonna harass me for the next 4 or 5 months talking about what you're gonna do. So if you don't nip shit in the bud, pause. You do shit to leave room for speculation for people to talk about it. But with this situation that you just asked about, Stat, Charles Barkley said his home is TNT, but Amazon got the money. We'll see what happens.
Then Maurice, Mase.
Yeah, no, it's the same thing, man. The landscape has changed, right? I know, I know Cam just said he wouldn't want to talk sports when he's 70.
No,
somebody give him a $20 million check.
Oh, my bad. I'm talking about Charles Barkley said that.
Oh yeah, I was building on that.
Yeah, no, I ain't know if you said I ain't want to talk sports when I was 70. I'm like, I ain't there 70 yet. I was just making sure we talk about Charles Barkley. My bad.
Yeah, no, Charles, man, if you offer anybody $20 million at 70, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna go ahead and talk sports. You know what I'm saying? Because you're probably gonna be talking about them anyway. You know what I'm saying? So you might as well go ahead and get to 20 for it. You know what I mean? But the landscape is changing. I nobody can connect the dots, or the average person that can't connect the dots. They look at people who do independent media, but this is what's driving all this stuff. You know, these people need eyeballs on their products. These people need eyeballs for advertisers. These people need to take market share away from people because you have independent platforms disrupt this stuff in a major way. Because if they watching us, just like there's people watching us right now, and there's numbers watching now, those eyeballs aren't on those other people. So what they're trying to do is get all of the talent that they feel can come to their networks and get every asset that they feel can keep eyeballs on their product, and they're going to offer people gargantuan amounts of money. And, you know, big ups to y'all for even having me on here to give me a whole fan base to make me more relevant than I've been in the past. But that's the name of the game. You know, everybody's looking for viewers, and these people are just playing at a different level. So, you know, Charles Barkley, shout out. I hope you still getting $20 million at 70 because y'all wasn't getting paid, you know, tons of money back when these guys were playing. So I just like to see guys get paid. That's just me.
I don't really have much to say. If you could get the money at 70, you got to get as much as you can while you can.
I'm just going to add, I hope inside the NBA, because I feel like as far as broadcast linear television, I feel like that is I think that's the most entertaining, you know, basketball show. So if it splits, it's just like, dang. Because everything is just very
my favorite.
Yeah, it's my favorite. Like they're having fun up there. Like obviously they're really good at what they do. And so to see everything like this 24/7, I think that landscape is changing. So I hope it stays. But if not, I mean, they're gonna have to figure something out. But Maurice, thank you for being here.
Mo, thank you so much, man. We appreciate you, bro.
All right, you got to show this one last time.
Title Town, nigga. Real Title Town, nigga. Real Title Town, nigga. Shout out to UConn.
That's all the time that we have for today. Thanks for watching. And as always, it is what it is.
What you want, nigga? Everything, nigga, super size. Two big necks, like when they doing them 2 for $5.